Hi everyone, welcome back to Insti Unfiltered. Today we're joined by Mounika Reddy, who is currently a consultant at PwC. She graduated with a BTech in Chemical Engineering in 2020 from Insti. And today we'll talk a little bit about navigating Insti's culture, um, understanding the importance of mentors, friends, and networks in Insti, and a little bit about what her decision-making process was when she was in Insti. So, thank you so much, Monica, for joining us today. And perhaps I'll start off by going back to the very beginning, your freshie year in Insti. You had probably come to Insti after going through, a very different, a very well-established coaching culture that we all know about in in India. But what were the specific changes that occurred or that you made consciously in terms of how you approach academics or your core subject or student life in general once you came to Insti from that very grueling sort of coaching culture?
First and foremost, a brief background about me. I am from like Tirupati. It's a small town in Andhra Pradesh. So, as you said, it was like the like plus one and plus two, like 11th and 12th. It was like really grueling. Like every day, like we used to work hard, like for so many hours. Back, like cut it and come to instance. Like you'll be given like a lot of freedom, lot of time will be in your hand, and you won't be knowing like what to do, how to utilize the time and all. So specifically to your question, like how did I approach academics? Like, yeah, I used to study a lot in like 11th and 12th. Used to, that is like the keyword in like back in like 11th and 12th. Like after like I moved to Insti, like I still had that like, man, I have to study. I have to like get good marks, get good scores, get good grades. I mean, this was on top of like on the top of my list, like at least like before I entered Insti. But then, man, after I entered Insti, I just realized there is much more you can do. There is much more I had to deal with in my first semester. Like, on if I'm being honest with you, it's not like just academics and all, just academics. It's not like I'm sitting in my room and then studying. There is a like lot to deal with, like going out, reaching out to people regarding fun days, which sport to take in, like when it comes to like in terms of NSO, which PORs are like good, are like good ones, like how to pass time, like what is open house, what is he-fi, and all these things. Like uh, when all these things came up, I just realized it's not like just studies, man. Like there is much more like you can do in Insti. There is much more you can learn like outside of grades and all those things. So yeah, and coming to academics, like I studied in Narayana in like 11th and 12th, where like principal used to sit literally in front of me, and I used to have like so many people to even solve my doubts. Here, like you come, you have to like navigate like everything by yourself, ask solve assignments by yourself. There won't be anybody to help you apart from your peers, and that too, like if you have good peers, they'll help you. If you don't, like just stuck on by your own, man, you have to like either solve it or just leave the assignment as is without solving. So it was like a more first semester, if you honestly ask me, more than thing for me, it was like a major shift. Like I didn't expect that it'll be this overwhelming, like if I'm being honest with you, though. I like i uh realized that it's going to be tough, like just before joining Insti. Like I knew that smartest minds are going to come from like all over India, but it's going to be fine. As I've done well in 11th 12th, I'm going to do well there also. But man, first semester, I've never been in hostel. I've always like been born brought up in my home only. I've done my 11th and 12th at my home only. After coming there, firstly, it was like it was so overwhelming for me, because during the SAC orientation only, when like people are asking questions about NSO, NCO, NSS, these many credits, those many credits, Shastra, SAR, and Evolve, and all these things, I'm like, how did they know? This is like the first day we stepped in Insti, and here I am like sitting without knowing anything. That was kind of intimidating, I would say. Like
Yeah.
these people, yeah, like knew about everything. Like it's just my first day in Insti, man. I just want to like meet people. And when you meet people also, it seems like I just felt like they have the next 4 years sorted in life, and I don't know anything. Like I just came with an open mind. Like honestly, like before joining IIT Madras, we had limited access to internet in my home as well.
Mm.
So I didn't get to do like lot of research about Insti. Like I knew like basic things, okay, tech fest, cultural fest will be there, this and that, but not like this level depth, like this many credits, how many hours are we supposed to study. I've never done this calculations and then entered Insti, man. So when all this changes and shifts are happening, it was like a bit overwhelming for me. And as I said, like I didn't have any friends from my factory as well. For me in Insti, it was like starting my life in a new place. Like it's like from the beginning, and you don't even have your parents like with you, like to
Yeah.
support you, like all the time. And I don't know, it's my bad, like I still feel that first semester, if you remember, like we were put in Saryu hostel.
Ah.
um in that, what happened was I was given a wing where entire wing is like full of PhD students, and they'll never be there.
Mm.
So um I mean, when it comes to Insta, you get to live two lives. So you go to classes, interact with people, interact with professors, and then come back and stay at home. For me,
Yeah.
both were very bad. Oh my god, professors. I'm used to like listening to classes where they'll explain everything in detail, man. Here it's like
Ah.
just like a higher level of explaining. And then academics were tough. When I come back to hostel, I didn't have, like, honestly, the first semester was very, very tough for me. Anybody to talk to and express to. And when I had like barely 2 3 friends in first semester, 2 3 people I used to talk to.
Mm.
Whenever I go them, they were busy in their own lives, like uh, applying for brand change, I mean targeting for brand change. They were always like busy with them. I was not understanding like what is happening. I mean, you know that you are not comfortable, but you don't know that it's okay. I mean, I was in that kind of like mindset, especially in my first semester, man. It was, but then when they shifted to Sharavati and all, we've had like my batch people in like a wing. Then it was like easy for me. It became easier for me to navigate through Insti. Like first semester was honestly very tough.
Mm.
It was like entirely different place with very few friends. And as I was saying, I just felt like everybody sorted out. Like it's just me who don't
Yeah.
know anything. Like, yeah, it was a bit overwhelming, but I guess that's how it is for everybody, but on different levels. For me, it was like a way bit too much. So
What do you
yeah.
think maybe one thing that should be done for everybody, all students across the board in the first
Hmm.
semester? You know, you said about how you felt like everybody else knew everything about, credits and Shastra, Sarang, but you probably
Yeah.
didn't. What do you think can be done to ensure that some students don't feel like they're being overwhelmed?
uh I think back then also we had this thing called Sati mentor, like a mentor will be allotted. But it was like for me, especially, I don't know. That mentor used to like, we spoke to her on like this. I spoke to my mentor in like what, first week, first day, and then after that, like, I mean, no, not much help I had gotten. And it's just like one mentor, man. Like if she responds to you, you'll get to know. Else, like that time, I think even LinkedIn was also not that famous to
Right.
get to know people back in like 2016. Now that it's very easy to find seniors on LinkedIn, so you can easily network via LinkedIn, get to know them. Then it was not famous. It was like more, if even if I go to like chem seniors, they conducted fun day sessions for us. I remember going to that. Then also I feel like I just felt like everybody knows everything there, man. I don't know, maybe it was like, even, to even ask a question in fun days,
Mm.
for me it was like thousand times I used to think in myself, am I being appropriate? Is this the right question to ask? If I ask, like, people think that I'm dumb. Like, I don't know this one. Okay, it's light only now. I'm done. Let me just listen to this conversation and then go to my room. So it was like that. I mean, uh, that time I didn't know that not just me, bunch of people are also facing the same thing.
Yeah.
That time, because I said I had like very limited number of friends. And then it used to be like, as I was saying, before even interacting with the person, thousand thoughts will be running in my head. Like it will just kill that interaction as well. Like, it's okay, it's okay, I'm fine, like, without talking to you. I'm fine like this. Like, am I being appropriate? This kind of like irrelevant questions like bothered me a lot. Then now if I look back at it, I just laugh at myself, like, why was it like that? When I made friends, like from the second semester, when I started interacting with more people, I just realized I was not alone. It's just that I didn't have any friends, and couple of my other friends who also faced the same thing. They had their own set of friends, at least like 2 to 3 friends, and they 2 to 3 friends, they were facing the same issue, so they had each other to like discuss all these issues with, and then help each other. As I was saying, like getting intimidated in fun days, I can't. I mean, as many people I know, like in Insta, there are so many people who get intimidated in fun days because
Yeah.
few people just like they know everything. It's like you go to, like, for example, I'm talking about a pure fun day. It's the first time you're going there. There are few people it's just like how to get into that, how do you get that sponsorship, how I'm like, it's just introductory session, man. There are people who don't know things. I mean, there are two ways to look at it. It's like, okay, I don't know, I'll go back, I'll learn about it, no, I'll be fine. And the second way is like just getting intimidated. It's like people know everything. For me, it was the mindset in the beginning. It's not at all like something that I am proud of. It's not at all healthy. Nobody should be feeling like that. But for me, since it's like the first semester culture shift and all those things, it was like eh, only like 2 to 3 months was very difficult. But then after that, once I became like, okay, let me interact with people. After when I talked to a lot of people, man, when people are in the same boat as like I was,
Yeah.
nobody knows anything. Like nobody has the next 4 years sorted, as I was thinking. And in many ways, I thought like I'm better than them. So it's just that the way they put themselves out is different from the way I put myself
Yes.
out.
Yes.
So it was like, that was like a major realization. It hit me like in the next semester. I was like, okay, but it's okay, one semester is it's not wasted. It's like, okay, it's a learning, otherwise I would have never learned all these things in my life. It's just an experience. So after that, it became easier for me. I wouldn't say like completely easy. It became easier for me to approach people, uh and yeah, just get to know, sort things out. And then I joined placement team in the second semester. I think I wrote an application, and then from third semester the work actually began. So from that I got to know like a bunch of seniors going into like different fields and all. So in that way I was like kind of sorted, because I am that girl who entered Insti like I want a job, man. So I was always intrigued with the process of how did this placement team placement entire placements happen in IITs. Why only so and so company is paying this much, that too only for very few students. Now also if you go and talk to like an random person about IIT, they just say yeah, they get one growth packages, where all we know that how much true it is. Like yeah, I entered like with that mindset, and then like yeah, I went ahead. I mean, seniors were there, like I kind of like got to know like people in different fields. That time it was like okay, after that it became fine. First initial days, since you're asking, yeah, it was
So
difficult.
you were part of both placement team and also you were part of Nirman, right?
Nirman, I was like worked for a very brief amount of time when Nirman was established. I think I joined when Nirman started, man. So yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I just want to ask one question about your extra academic, like extracurricular
Sure,
experiences,
sure,
like
yeah.
say placement team or
Mm.
Nirmal. What is one thing you liked about it, and what is one thing that was not so great, maybe, about this experience?
Uh, for me, in placement team, if you ask me what did I like, for me, it just gave me an easy access to seniors. And when I approach them for anything, they'll be knowing that Mounika helped me during the placement process in some or the other way. So she was there carrying my resume, or she was there in front of the HR. So people respond to me. So people will be there like to clarify my doubts, how much ever dumb they are. So even if I want to explore like a new field which I've never touched, I knew like quite a few people entered that field. It just gave me an access to get to know the contacts and then approach them. If it wasn't for placement team, it would have been, I mean, it would have taken, I should have like needed to put like a lot of effort to get those amount of contacts. If you ask me, like, for example, if I say like I'm interested in so and so field, but I don't know I don't know anybody to contact to, like can you suggest me like who's in that field. But when I was in, after working in the placement team, I knew like quite a few people in the same field. So when I contact them, like even if they don't know, they'll just suggest, like they'll just refer me to another person. So it
Right.
just became easy for me. And what did I not like? Man, rains during placement season, if you ask me.
Nothing.
Just
Sorry.
rains during placement season
Rains during the
just
placement
spoils
season.
everything. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's a good thing not to like, which means your overall experience was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another point I want to make about, or I want to bring up, is about the other cultural clubs. These are
Mm.
placement teams that are peers that are, slightly related to academics and career and all of that. What about
Mm.
other cultural clubs? What did you feel was the general, vibe of those clubs? Generally, I mean, people think that they're not very welcoming. I think that's the general opinion. What is your opinion? What did you do to find a community outside of that?
For me, clubs, honestly, I've never explored it enough. I've went to like fun days of like 2 to 3 clubs, maybe music, debate club, if I'm being right about the name. And then I just didn't feel that it's relatable.
Hmm.
So, and then I came out of it. But I have like a few friends who are a part of this club, part of these different clubs. They say, as you said, that it's kind of toxic. They're not welcoming. And if they like a person, like they're gonna like be favoring to that person, irrespective of another person does well or not. These are the things I heard. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm the right person to comment on it because I haven't explored things
Would
about
you
it.
have continued had things been different?
Uh, Honestly, it depends. Like for example, if okay, how should I put it? Like if you are my boss and if you're not being supportive to me, though if I'm even though I'm putting a lot of hard work and even though if I'm like on par with others whom you are favoring, and then if you're not supporting me, I should find a lead like to talk to, like this is what is happening but I'm interested, this is not so and so person is not supporting. I don't understand, I don't see any mistake from my side. I think somebody should be there to talk to, man.
Right.
Uh if not, it's going to be like very difficult. Already there's a lot going on in Insti. Apart from this, like this mental stress, it's gonna like it's gonna kill you. So there should be a person like, if I were there in that position, I would have escalated it to another person at least,
Hmm.
if I can. I mean, there will be contact. If you are a part of the club, you will be knowing some other person higher than that. But if nobody is supporting, I mean, you should find something better than, man. You're worth more than it. That's all. That's all I'll
Yeah,
say.
got it, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was about Insti's culture, culture shocks broadly. Now I want to talk about
Also,
maybe.
like coming back to the question, like you asked, like about I was talking about the Sati thing, right? What can Insti do it better and all, like more than just like contacting them like for once. Maybe Sati, I mean, any mentors should be allotted for like new joiners. Maybe they can like have a friendly session and then they can take over. They can take them to different places in Insti and then say that, I don't know if other Sati mentors did. I haven't heard like any of the mentors doing this. Take them to the places like, this is a classroom complex, this is a CLT. I mean, just make them feel comfortable with you. So it's like whenever they are having an issue, you should be the go-to person. I was a Sati mentor in my next year, like second year. So at least the things I know of, like since I was a part of placement team, I helped them in like getting the resume corrected and all those things. I was there whenever they had a query on like regarding companies who to approach. Though I don't know, I was able to give them a point of contact, like you can approach them. Maybe I'm not the right person. So make feeling, I mean, it all depends on like person to person. Should be like what I'm trying to say is like they should be given like more of much of a time, and maybe like taking along them in the Insti and then explaining them, spending some time with them. And also like um connecting them with the people. Like for me, if I hadn't gone to like much of chemical engineering fun days, I wouldn't have gotten to know seniors. I know few of my friends who were like chilling, partying, and then they didn't attend any of the any of the fun days, so they didn't know about seniors only, man. So there should be like some mandatory fun days, man. Like you interact with people. Maybe you can find somebody who you can relate to in that fun day session. You can find a senior who you can relate to. You can go and talk to them. So I mean, you never know. Anybody can. I mean, contacts are very important. You never know actually. So these kind of things, as I was saying, initially nothing is mandatory in Insti. I mean, attendance except the 85% attendance. Like for few of the courses, if they don't take attendance, people are okay with not going to classes
Yeah.
as well. So it was like few initial fun day sessions, especially with a branch senior, should be made mandatory, I feel.
Right.
And also like
Right.
intense mentoring, not just like, okay, you arrive at Insti, fine. Text me whenever text me whenever you have an issue, and then
Right.
I'll respond whenever
Right.
I get time.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be like that. I mean, some kind of like, for me personally, because I felt the need to help people, but
Mm.
not everybody. For me, because it was a major shift, but not. I know many of my friends. For them, it was very easy to navigate through Insti culture. So when I tell them these things as well, they were like, it won't be relatable to them. For them, it was like if somebody texts them, it's like an additional burden to reply to them as well. So it's like just because I understood it, like it was like I took that, okay, I'll help them, man. But not everybody gets it. So yeah, something like intense mentoring and then mandatory fund decision should help
I think I'm really
for this
on board with the
generation.
intense mentoring because mentors are usually, you know, touch me not kind. They are there, but
Exactly,
you can
exactly. Yeah,
they're like you can text me whenever you want, but that
yeah,
never really
exactly.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand that they'll be busy in their own, they'll be
Mm.
having their own schedule. But when you've taken a responsibility, like at least like spend like 2 hours in the first day with them, man, like talking to them, share your experiences, they'll just feel comfortable. I mean, I am not asking them to feed you, make them
Mm.
lunch, and then like take, I mean, that and all is too much, but at least like talk to them, make them comfortable with you, so that whenever they have an issue, they know that who to contact to, all these things. But not everybody does it with the same sincerity, I feel. Like I know like a bunch of mentors, like a personal, as I was saying, even my personal experience, it was like, you text me, I'll reply whenever I am free. So it was like that.
So for freshie girls, say like
Hmm.
yourself, maybe the way you were at 16,
Hmm.
uh, maybe they are also encountering people, mentors like this. Maybe situation
Hmm.
has not changed. Mentors like this who are not very helpful. What would you tell them, regardless of what the mentorship
And
situation is?
right now, I'll just ask them to know to network via LinkedIn, man. LinkedIn,
Uh,
I mean, it just helped. Like it just helps a lot. Once when I was working, I mean, it's my first job. Like right after the graduation, like your job doesn't match your expectations. It's the thing with most of the people. So the same similar thing happened to me, and you don't know like who to contact to. Then I was just scrolling on LinkedIn, I just found a couple of seniors. I just texted them random, you have who have never spoken to them in Insta. Uh, Surprisingly, they texted me back, and then we had a call. I've explained my problems, like these are my problems, these are my goals in life. Currently I am satisfied in so and so elements, but I'm not satisfied in these elements, like how should I navigate? So what I'm trying to say is like just one text on LinkedIn. Right now it just became so much more easier, man, via LinkedIn. And also when I'm looking out for different masters options, because I wanted to do masters, like it was there in my mind like, from so long, but I was just unsure about what to do in, like which path is the right path for me, because I joined chemical engineering because I my rank for my rank I just got chemical engineering. But when you're going to master, you should be at least sure about like this is what I wanted, man, because it's going to be a master's degree. I want to be at least like some percent sure. So I was just navigating to different programs, and then I was contacting people on LinkedIn. And so many people, I mean, if I text to 10 people, 5 people don't reply back, but at least 5 people reply back. And then we have a conversation. I take like some they share their experiences. I take some notes from them, some important things. Right now I think LinkedIn networking is like very important. Coming back to your question, like how to navigate, it's like go to LinkedIn. Everybody is on LinkedIn these days. Talk to them, navigate uh, questions. Like I mean, what I'm trying to say is like don't feel bad. Like as I was mentioning, if I respond to like if I text to like 10 people, 5 persons don't reply, don't feel bad that these people didn't reply. Like it's okay, you shouldn't stop like
mm.
trying from your end. Like keep on trying, it's okay. Like now also I get like bunch of LinkedIn requests, LinkedIn messages. I won't be able to like reply to all of them, give as much time as they wanted, because we will be having our own things. But don't take it into hard seriously, like why are they not replying? It's okay. Like don't stop from your end. Like keep on trying. This is what I would like to say
So in case
to
you
like
can't seek
Insti
out
freshers.
mentorship in your campus, seek it out on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is
Yeah,
more democratic. Okay, great.
yeah.
Um,
Is this active system still there? Are you aware of?
yeah, I think it's still around,
It's
but I'm
there.
not sure
Okay.
what the situation is since the pandemic. You know, pandemic has changed a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So not sure,
True, man.
but
Yeah.
yeah. So another question about networks and contacts, which is something you've mentioned so far. How accessible were the professors during your time in state? Of course, we sought out advice from seniors, Saki mentors, all of these people. But what about professors? Were you able to request advice, feedback, look for opportunities from them? And what should somebody who's starting out do to make the most of, so many different professors from different departments?
Firstly, I think when it comes to like core professors and all, you get an understanding of the core only after core subjects begin.
Hmm.
So which usually happens in the second semester, and even I mean second semester we had just one introductory course, and then third semester we had like bunch of subjects. After that, if you want to like interact with professors, I would say that go to the research thing, man. Like what are they currently doing? You might not understand everything. It's fine. It's okay. You just did like what one semester of chemical engineering courses. It's okay if you don't understand, but there'll be like some other things like thermodynamics, basic things. You'll get to know like what this professor is working on. If you really want to like not interested, I would say if you really want to explore that field,
Hmm.
just mail them. Like for me it worked. Like mail them, ask them I'm interested in so and so field, ask them for a time. Professors replied back. Chemical engineering professors, I mean it's not that hard to like get in touch with them. They're just a mail away, I would say.
Right. That's a really
So
nice way. They're just a mail away. They're not
yeah.
unaccessible because you have
Yeah,
this idea of this professor as somebody who you cannot
yeah,
approach.
yeah,
Yeah, but I think
yeah.
that's something students need to get.
And also like if you want to directly meet them also, they're easily accessible. They wherever they sit, their numbers will be given on the website, room numbers and all. You can go and you can get in touch with the PhD people working in their lab as well. You
Right.
understand what kind of work they're doing. Maybe like after seeing the research work of professor, you would have thought something, and then after going there, you would have you I mean you might realize that uh, this is not something I've thought of. So interact with the people. Like if you really want to get in touch with professors, I would say like make friends with the people. Not make friends, like interact with people who are working with him. You'll get to know, because I have done my BTP under a prof. um, Before that I had a couple of connections with PhD scholars under my prof. Like when I go and see in the website, the kind of work that's mentioned, it's different from the kind of work that these PhD scholars were doing. So it was like I am interested in what these PhD scholars are doing more than the research work of the professor.
Right.
So it was like that. Like they'll help you. Like once you start your BTech project or something, you need help of somebody, man. Otherwise you can't do it. PhD people are the right persons to do. So yeah.
Get in touch with PhD people, male professors.
Yeah, male professors get in. I mean, go to their lab. You'll see who all are working there.
Hmm.
Just like ask them, introduce yourself. I'm so and so. I'm like second year in chemical engineering. I want to know more about what so and so professor does. Do you have a minute? Like just have a conversation with them. If they're busy, it's okay. Like let me know whenever you have some time. Like they'll let you know, and you'll also get a better understanding. I mean, after going to the professor, and if professor had given you a project and then you realize, man, this is not I wanted, that'll be worse. Like at
Yeah.
least get talking to you, like one person before him will actually help you like with an understanding. Yeah,
So now I want to ask another question about the people in your life. Very important people, your parents.
yeah,
The thing with being an IIT student is that our schedules are very very hectic, and usually parents do not understand what we are going through. You know what mental health conditions we are in. You know how hectic our schedule is. What all aspirations we have. If you want to do an internship in a different city, for instance, they'll be like, "Why do you have to go there? You can do it somewhere
uh,
nearby." So all of these things. Did you face something similar? And if you did, how did you navigate your relationship with your parents while you were a student?
for me, my dad is a government lecturer, my mom is a homemaker. Both of them are based out of Tirupati. So for me, it was never like my parents stopped me from doing something. If I want to go to some city, I did my internship in PNG in Bhiwadi, man. It's in Rajasthan. It's nowhere. It's in Rajasthan. I mean, my dad is kind of like open minded. If you want to do it, like go do it. Nobody's gonna stop you. Like he's always there to like support me. I mean, he's that one person. It's like who like make me like aim high. Like it's okay. Like girls should be having their own ambitions. You should be like financial independence is very much needed for women in life. So I mean, they've never stopped me. But coming to the to that point of parents, like one thing I would like to add, as I was mentioning in as we were talking about my Insti experiences, like most of the people who join Insti, they're from like whoever joined from Tier 1, Tier 2 cities, like they know. I mean, the parents are also like well aware of like what's happening in Insti. With in my case, they were always there for me. They were always like they're just a phone call away if you ask me. And it's Chennai is just 4 hours from Tirupati, so it's they're always there. In my case, like what happened was like maybe they don't understand the technicalities, but they were always there for emotional support and mental support for me. Like if I say ma, I'm upset because I didn't get this internship, or I'm upset because I didn't score so and so well, I wanted that pure but I didn't get it, they might not understand it, like the gravity of the situation. They'll just be like, it's okay, you can do better than this. They'll just be there for emotional support. But technicalities wise, like you should make them understand, no, if I had gotten this like internship, this is my interest, this is the company that gives the profile, that has the same profile of my interest. So if I had gone there, it would have helped me navigate all these things. So yeah, in that way, it's like they never stopped me. But coming to the technicalities part, I should make them understand, like if I'm sure about it, I mean, they won't say no, that I am like aware of, at least like till now, whatever I ask, they're like, it's okay, it's fine, you can do it.
So you also took
uh,
the efforts to make them understand, and that helped the process to be a little
yeah,
smoother.
yeah, yeah, I mean, if you don't put the effort, they will never get to know. Like they'll never get to know why am I feeling sad. Like it's just like what one more, you'll get so many other companies, just an internship. No, it's not just an internship, this is what I wanted, this is the company that I wanted. Like yeah, we should make them understand. If not, it's like they'll never understand, man.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Insti Unfiltered. We're now joined by another guest on our panel, Sharda Rajmane, who's currently product supply manager at Procter& and Gamble, and she graduated with a BTech in Aerospace Engineering in 2021 from IIT Madras. So Sharda, thank you so much for joining us now after the little break. And so to sort of clue you into the conversation that we were having before, we were talking about, Insti culture, the cultural clubs, uh, how difficult it might be to navigate them in the beginning of your Insti life, especially. You told me that you were part of the Marathi Mitr Mandal, and I just wanted to know, you were an active participant as well. I wanted to know, how helpful, being part of a regional club instead of the other clubs was, and how important was your Insti life, and what did you find in the Marathi Mandal that was probably not there in other cultural clubs, that probably other cultural clubs didn't offer you.
Okay. So the thing is, initially when I interacted first with people from Marathi Mitra Mandal or the function, it was this Ganpati festival in our fresh year. And to be honest, my fresh year wasn't that great. I was a little lonely and, very new to everything that was happening around Insti, literally everything. In spite of being in boarding schools and being in Kota and everywhere else in India, but it was still relatively new to me. So yeah, so when I joined Marathi Mitra Mandal, I was like able to converse with them, have my just Marathi slangs and everything. So that's how I actually got into it, to be honest. And I've always been a fan of cultural activities, having this drama or singing or everything else. So yeah, so slowly I started meeting with more and more people, and to be honest, it was a home inside a little home, like a little home inside a home kind of thing. So whenever I used to miss home or something, I used to hit up with any of my MMM people, talk. I made really good friends by the time I came in second year. So yeah, that was one thing. Second thing, I really found those people to be very fun to be around. Okay, we used to go out a lot. We used to hang out in Insti. We used to go to the Gopal Mess together. So yeah, it kind of took the edge off whenever I was feeling homesick.
Right, right. And Monica, do you have anything to talk about, regional clubs that you may have been part of?
Uh, when Sharda said about Ganpati, I think I remember being a part of like one Ganpati festival during my fresh year where I got to know like few people, but then it was never on my mind to like join a club and then interact with people, man, for some other reason. So I met few people during that festival, and then I was in contact with them during the time of during Insti time, but not like being a part of the club and then like having fun. But it was like other way. And for every festival, almost like all the festivals, I used to go back to my home because it's just 4 hours away.
Right.
So it was like the first time that because I had a quiz or something the next day, I happened to be an Insti, and then I got to know seniors, which I'm like, okay, like I got to know a few more contacts. They're organizing some. It happened in some Ganpati temple. They organized like big puja and all. So yeah.
So the next question is about the people that because both of you talked about how having the right kind of people around was very crucial to going over that difficult first semester first year phase. So maybe you can talk about both in terms of academic and non-academic pursuits. How did you manage to create that circle, and how did your friends and peers impact your insti life?
So the thing is, for me, it's like I don't know. My first year, it took me like in my first year, it took me till February or some March to make good friends. To be honest, the I was very shy. I had this, as I told you, very new, and I was very rattled. Okay, to be honest, that phase took a little bit longer for me, I guess. So yeah, academically speaking, when I came in my first semester, I was very, you know, I wanted to. I came in with the mindset that okay, I'm gonna get my PhD and everything in aerospace. I want to go there. So that's topic for another question maybe. But yeah, that was my aim initially. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna study as much as I can. So first semester went by only studying. Okay, just studying, going classroom, mess, library, room. That's all. So didn't make a lot of friends then, but then slowly, got to interact with a lot of people. I was ill in my second semester. That's when I actually met really good friends. So academically speaking, it has been, to be honest, mm, not a lonely, I'd say, but a standalone road for me. Like, it. I don't remember studying along with my friends that much. It was usually just me in the library or just me in the class. Although yes, I used to go to my friends to get my doubts cleared or get any topic or of or anything that I don't understand to be cleared. But yeah, I think it would have helped me better if I had some group of 2 or 3 people to study with, because that I have seen a couple of my other friends who have done really well because of having some peer group to study. So yeah, that I must say I missed out on maybe when it comes to academics. When it comes to social life and all, I owe entirely everything to my friends in college, because I was a very lonely Gus in the beginning. So they roped me into activities. They roped me in for trips here and there. They roped me in to go out to beach or everything. In my first semester entirely, I didn't go step out of the institute only. So that much shy or that reserved I was. So yeah, in terms of social circle, I think the friends I made in second semester, they helped me open up a lot. That's how I got into more teams and all later in my college life.
Monica, anything to say about friends? I think you briefly touched upon before, but
Yeah,
anything to
I
say?
touched about it. Like as I was saying, first semester was very lonely for me. As Sharda was mentioning, it took her like time till February, March. For me, it took like time till December to like get adjusted. But once they shifted us to like Sharavati, I was able to interact with a lot of people outside my branch. Uh, uh, I mean, having able to like have a conversation was itself was difficult for me in the first semester. Having a conversation with an unknown person, having a conversation with a person even I know was very difficult in the first semester. But then when things moved, like it just became easy, because when the other person is listening, when the other person is able to understand like why you were behaving like that in the first semester. So it was like from second semester onwards, it was like friends, like I was able to make friends, I was able to open up a lot, I was able to reach out to many people for help as well. I restricted myself a lot in the first semester, thinking that, man, no, don't do that, don't do this. As I said, I also came with the mindset of like just study, study, study. But then that also didn't happen, by the way. It was just overwhelming. Getting adjusted to Insti culture was just so overwhelming, man, for me. So after that, right now, if you ask me, I'm just grateful for whatever that's happened after the second semester, man. Though I have like very small friend circle, everybody adds like value to my life right now. Even if I call them like at what, like 4 a.m, 5 a.m, everybody has like adds a lot of value. And I might not be having like a lot of friends, but whoever is there, like I am just grateful for them. That's what they should be there. So yeah, it took time. Like, I mean, I was able to make friends in the second semester, but to find the best of them, it took time. Like after second year, after third year, I was able to find my best friends in Insti. So it was not like an easy ride. It was not like friends were given on you like a silver platter. Like so, but I made efforts. Like I had to put like a lot of effort, honestly, but it was all worth it at the end of the day.
So that's about culture and people. Now, moving on to the more pressing questions of making decisions on career and life and everything else. So, Sharda, you were in aerospace, and Mounika, you were in chemical engineering. Did either of you think of going the academic route at any point? And right now, you're in, Sharda, you're in consulting, and I think you're also in consulting right now. But at any point during NST life, did you think of going on the academic route? Uh, why didn't you pursue it? Do you plan to pursue it later?
Dude, for me, it was like I was interested in chemical engineering, but research was never my thing. It is not my thing. I can't do research. I can't read like so many research papers and then make an analysis out of it. I can read like till one point, but then after that, to continue, you need to have a passion on that, man. I never found my passion. So it was like whichever like project I take up, whichever like I've even done my BTP. During that BTP only, it was like a big realization for me. And even before that, I kind of know that I'm not a research person. So academically going depth, like no, maybe like a master's in chemical engineering, maybe it was there on the back of my mind, not was like on the first. It was there, like I might do a master's in chemical engineering, but PhD and all, no, it was never my thing. So yeah, while doing projects only, I realized that okay, 1 or 2 months I might enjoy it because I'm learning new things, but then to hold on to that particular topic for a long time, you really need to have passion, else you can't do it. It's because like everybody else is able to do it, why can't you? Because I'm not interested in it. Like it's as simple as that.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, what about you, Sharda? I mean, you
Okay.
came in with the idea of doing a PhD. What changed?
So to be honest, see, like I come from a family of doctors. Okay, so my mom, dad are doctors. My brother is studying to be a doctor. So literally, when it came to, I didn't even know what IIT was till I was in, I think, seventh, eighth grade. Then so I was very naive when I was entering the institute. I had in my mind was, if you are taking aerospace engineering, you study that, you get a job in that, and you go work.
You're
I
not
what is
alone.
yeah, what is consulting, what is this, what startups and finance, and nothing ever crossed my mind. I swear, nothing, even it didn't even cross my mind in my wildest thoughts. So yeah, so and I fought with my parents to take aerospace engineering because again, that seemed like the most interesting branch to me. I thought, oh, okay, I'll do PhD, I'll study properly. If I don't get a job immediately after BTech, I'll go do PhD. I wanted to join army, have a create an aircraft of my own and whatnot. Okay, didn't take a moment to do a feasibility check, but anyways, so yeah, I had like very wild dreams when I entered, and to be honest, till my first year end almost, I was in the same zone because I was in the same mode that okay, whatever it is, my interest will be aligned to my academics. The only one thing that I've learned in my first year from seniors or whatever, a little interaction I had is coding, seeklo. Learn coding. Otherwise, we won't get a job. So I tried learning coding a bit. I didn't like it. Didn't like it is an understatement. I hated it. So yeah, I was pretty much on that path. Then second year, I joined placement team as a DPC. So at that time, when I saw the list of companies and the job description, trust me, okay, I don't think people never believe me when I say this. I have sat down long nights going to the portal reading every job description because it was so new to me. Like, how can they offer this role to engineers? Is what I used to think at the time. Even though how even though we study in IIT or everything, but still it was very. So I read, I think McKinsey's JD, and I was like, okay, this doesn't sound like a work of an engineer, to be honest. This is usually what they I thought only MBA people get into these roles, or people in that particular stream. So yeah, once those once those roles and all opened up, once I knew okay, there is something like this that exists, it like I was taken aback. I reevaluated all my choices then, and coincidentally, this was about the time which I started to not like academics that much as well in my third semester. So there are a couple of courses they just didn't, go well with me. So then naturally, obviously, I thought, okay, the best way to explore all of this will be, to do some internship in any of these fields, or at least do some extra courses, some management courses. So I took up a management course. Then I talked to some seniors. By that time, I was a little more outgoing than I was in my fresh year. So I talked to a few seniors, uh, got their opinion about how I can move forward with what I had at the time. So yeah, at the time I just knew okay, maybe PhD is at least off the table. I can still think of converting to dual degree or something, but no PhD. No, can't study that much. That's too much commitment, as Monica said. It's like only for ultimately passionate people. So yeah, PhD was out of the table by then, but I still hadn't figured out what role exactly, because there were so many things. There was also, I think, when I was a DPC, Boeing also came. Airbus, as usual, ditched us, but Boeing came. So again, I was also thinking, okay, what if I join this company, see how it how all of this stuff goes. But then I realized, okay, they are coming for a data science role. So again, checked it. So that was around the time I was also learning what data science means. So yeah, I was very, very late in the line. So yeah, then later on, as I continued in the placement team, I was also part of Evolve in my second year, which had a lot of good seniors in different fields. One was in finance, one was in FMCG, and other people also were doing different things. So I talked to them, understood what their role was, what their day to day time at their respective internships was like. And when I got to know, I realized, okay, somewhere in finance or strategy kind of roles is where my interest lied at the time. Then continuing in my third year, I was again replaced. I introduced to another dynamic role, which was product roles, APM and all. That time, you have no idea. I was insanely sure that APM is what I wanted to do, and I put up a great fight for that. I started preparing for my third year itself. But as you know from my profile, it didn't quite pan out when it came to my placements. So yeah, it was a little bit hazy ride. I won't say I was the most clear person about my goals, because I wasn't. I was so out of overwhelmness and everything. I joined like 6, 7 teams in my second year. You name a team, I was a coordinator there. So yeah, figuring it out mostly by myself with some help from seniors, it was quite difficult, to be honest, because I was late to understanding a lot of things. By the time I realized, okay, consulting needs these things, I knew okay, my resume, even if I put up a great fight right now, it wouldn't probably fit in. And luckily enough, I didn't like it back then. I still have my doubts about that, even though I have been in consulting for a year. Um, so it has been a zigzag path.
So what would have made it, you said with a little bit of help from seniors, this whole journey was a difficult journey, obviously, but what is something that would have made it easier, maybe?
I think, see, the problem with Insti is what I felt at the time was, so for people like me who don't usually interact a lot, with others, who started off being very shy and everything. So I lost almost a year and a half to by the time I was, really fitting into the culture, really going out and talking to people. So for them, there should be something, some program or some sessions or anything that guide you about the career choices that you will get down the line in your first year or second year itself. So there might be stuff that is happening currently. I'm sorry, I don't have many updates from Insti at the moment. But yeah, like because we people you don't usually reach out of by ourselves. Like at least the way I was in my first second year, I was very introverted. I it was very difficult for me to initiate a conversation, let alone approach some senior I don't know and talk to them about career. It was sort of difficult. So yeah, I think some sessions, some as you have these EML talks and everything, some sessions from say Insti seniors who have been, let's say, one session who from people who have been in consulting, one session from people who have been in product. Instead of doing all of this in third year, fourth year, when it's late for a lot of people, if you do that in your first, second year, just get to know what is out there.
Yeah.
I think that even that small thing would have helped me do a lot better, I guess.
Yeah, I actually agree with that, because even when I entered IIT Madras, for me, man, I wasn't aware of any other jobs apart from the jobs that Gate gives, man. Honestly, like Gate has like few profiles for chemical engineering. It has like PSUs. For me also, like as what you were saying, consulting, finance, strategy, product, I wasn't aware of all these things. If not for placement team, maybe it would have taken a lot of time for me to understand. Maybe like just before like 1 month of placements, I would have gotten to know about all these things, feeling overwhelmed. There should be like some sessions, like these are the career paths that are available, like at least out of IITs, and so on, so are the people who are in the career paths. Maybe a talk from them, maybe like an introductory thing, like what finance actually is, what consulting actually is, what are actually needed from you. That would have, like, for example, if I had found something interesting, then maybe I would have like started to build my profile since then only. Because after second year, what happens is when you start sitting for internships, you won't be having time to build your profile anymore, man. It's just that getting a job, getting an internship, it just it'll just be like it'll be a rat race after that, I feel. Most of the time will be like in the first and second years, where you get to like develop and build. Mostly those pivots only people will continue in the third year as well, third and the final year. So some of the other like introductory sessions, like these are the career paths, introducing seniors from those career paths, which is like very important. uh, that would actually help a lot of people. As she was mentioning, there are roles, like even I was shocked, like why are they offering these kind of roles? We are engineers, man. We are like built to like solve problems. What do we do in consulting? That is like pure manager role. Like why are they offering? But then I realized engineers from IIT are like much more than what like technical tech stuff engineers is like. That's why, like, even when now I'm in PwC, before when I was in doctorates as well, people value a lot, people give a lot of value for engineers from IIT. They tend to think like we do like a lot of stuff which we are capable of, honestly. So that's why even companies offer all these things. And also exploring other things, I feel like as much as you hear from seniors, as much as you think like this is a right thing for me, I mean, once until and unless you explore it by yourself, you won't get to know. uh, right now I might interact with the senior, and then he or she says that this is my career path. I might find it interesting. I might think that this is the right thing for me, but once I start doing it by myself, either through an internship or to a full-time role, I won't understand it completely,
Right.
the real thing. Because when it comes to corporate, lot of things change, man. Lot of factors depend on whether you like a job or not. It's just not the work, it's about the company culture, it's about the people you get to like interact with, it's about the project you get in also. Even if it's a great role, if you're not in a great project, if you're not in at least a good project, your opinions will change. That will tend to question our career choices only. Is this the right career choice? So yeah, I mean, all these things, from the beginning only, maybe like some sort of like light given to this would have helped for people like me, at least. So yeah.
So we have about 5 minutes left. I just want to do a quick rapid fire round. So if you woke up tomorrow to be the director of IIT Madras, what is one thing you would change?
85% attendance.
Sorry?
Lol. 85% attendance.
Okay, you would change the attendance. What about you, Sharda?
I'll get some ice cream stall installed proper inside Insti. I love ice cream. I never found a good ice cream stall in Insti. And yeah, 85% attendance was my first answer, but okay. I'll go with that.
So, what is one piece of advice you would give your freshie self, your first semester self?
Don't be
Man, you're
scared.
fine as you're what you are. Dude, okay, fine. Who are you?
Yeah, okay, Mounika first, then Sharda.
Okay, sure. So, man, just you're fine as what you are. Just go ahead. That's all. You've worked hard, like to get into IIT. You're capable of like surviving in IIT as well. Just go, like, do whatever you want. Just don't be scared. That's all. Be
And you, Sharda?
confident. Do whatever you want.
I think it's just one line. Don't be, scared. Like a lot of people were as clueless as I was,
Don't
which
be
I
scared.
realized later. But
Yeah.
I felt very alone because I was so lost. I thought I'm the only one that's lost. So yeah.
If you could relive your final year, but without the pandemic, because I think both of you are pandemic graduates, uh,
Yes.
2020, 2021. Without the pandemic, if you could relive your final year, what is the first thing on your to-do list?
To go
Tank,
on a
tank,
trip.
climb up the tank. Sorry,
What, Sharda?
climb up the tank.
Oh, you would
Water
climb
tank.
up the tank. Okay.
Oh.
And Monica?
To go on trips, we had few trips planned in the final year, especially
Right.
in like end of April after the semester and all. We had like some quality like trips with I had quality trips with my best friends planned out where I had to like convince my parents and do all those things and cut like COVID, sit at home doing nothing. So I would have like maybe enjoyed a lot like with my friends as I planned.
And what is one regret you have from your Insti life?
My academic record, it's kind of became a little more shaky towards my second year,
Does it
half third year.
influence your current life in any way?
I think so. It's just that it comes to my mind even now.
Right, right, right.
Uh, at some point, I was too much into other activities. Instead, I could have given at least a little bit of that time to studying properly. So yeah, that's my biggest regret.
What about you, Monica? Biggest regret?
Regret is a big word, man. Like I don't know, I made peace with a lot of things.
Right.
So it was like, yeah, it's fine. Whatever happened has happened, and you learn from it, something out of it, and then you come out. So yeah.
What is your dream place and manner of retirement?
Place
Mm,
as in location. Like
Location. I mean, how would you like to retire?
oh, for me, I think the most important thing I would seek out is like I want to have peace in my life, man. That's all. That is like on top. As I'm becoming older, I'm just realizing the value of peace, mental peace. I want to live happily with peaceful life. That's all. That is like the most important thing for me.
Sharda?
Believe it or not, I want to retire a little early, if possible, if my finances support me. So I'll retire a little earlier than usual, and maybe start working with some NGO or like I do that a little bit now, but do it as a full time thing, or get into philanthropy or something of that sort.
Great.
And settle in Bangalore, hopefully,
Bangalore.
either Bangalore or
Okay.
Pune. Bangalore or Pune. I want to go abroad for a little while, but ultimately settle in India itself.
Great. Okay, so Sharda and Monica, thank you so much for taking the time out for this. It was very, very insightful, um, very interesting conversation. It didn't feel like the three of us haven't interacted before, which is a good thing. So, as pandemic
Thanks a
graduate
lot for
myself,
having us.
I relate to a lot of things that you that you've said. So, thank you so much for taking the time, and
No worries.
yeah, see you all. Bye,
Yeah.
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah. Thanks to Bye, Shanda. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.